All right. So I want you to talk to us about the remarkable achievements recorded in the last 1 year in regards to your administration's rescue mission agenda.
Thank you very much for that. Let me just give you a brief history of what we inherited as a state. We inherited a very, very empty treasury with a backlog of 4 months' salaries of Zamfara state workers. We're able to settle that. We're able to settle 1.3 billion NACO. We're able to settle 1.6 billion YA. We're able to settle 1.6 billion KETCO because when we took over, almost all the ministries, including Government House, were disconnected from electricity. For 5 to 9 months, there was no single drop of water in the capital. And we're able to solve that in just 5 days after assuming office. You're aware also, since 2011, we have not paid pension and gratuity to the tune of 13.6 billion. Guess what? We have already cleared about 9 billion as at today. The remaining balance will be paid within the next couple of months. Now, if you look at education also, the structures in place, what we inherited was in a bad stage. The same thing healthcare. No single hospital that was operational at the time. In fact, it was an ISO. We're able to fix so far about 6 hospitals across the local government and fully equipped with modern technology. We are building and rebuilding primary school over 350 as we speak. The same thing secondary school, we are remodeling more than 350 secondary school fully equipped with all the furniture and everything. You know, because if you look at the history of Zamfara State, we've always been at the bottom, just like that letter Z, but we're trying to change the narrative. And I'm happy we're doing that. And guess what? We're doing this with the meager resources that we're getting from FAC allocation. What we're able to do also is to block all the leakages. Prior to this, our IGR in Zamfara State was just under 90 million. And that 90 million, 90% was payee. We're able now to move our IGR from 90 million to at least 1.2 billion. And it's increasing on a month-by-month basis. If you travel in Zamfara State, the state capital, you cannot move 200 meters on a good road. Go to Zamfara now and see what is happening. Your correspondent were there, and we always do these things live so that there won't be any stories here and there because politicians are fond of manipulating things. But we normally cover these things live. Go and see what is happening now in Zamfara State in terms of urban renewal. So these are things we are doing. Also, when I took over, the minimum wage in Zamfara State was just 7,000. You can imagine somebody earning 7,000 a month. We had to quickly do what we had to do to jack up to at least the previous minimum wage of 30,000. And on a monthly basis, from the very day we took over, on the 25th of every month, we pay our salaries. We pay them bonuses. We pay them 13-month salaries. And things are working. We're employing people. There's a lot of economic activities now within the state. So things are really picking up and people are not complaining. So we'll get there gradually. Remember, we inherited an empty treasury. But I can say that now we are financially stable and we're taking care of all our obligations. We have not borrowed a dime up till today. We are using the same resources for the development of our people. That is what we are doing.
Your Excellency, I'm sure the next question anyone would ask is, how did you do it? How have you been able to achieve all of this in 1 year?
Proper financial management, accountability. That is the way. Process in place. We now put process in place. In fact, that's one reason why when I saw that memo, The question I asked, where would that money come from? In every memo, there must be a word of charge where that money will clearly explain the account details so that you don't go and approve something that you cannot even find the money. And I challenge anybody to show me where that money was deducted from Zamfara state government. So it's just proper discipline, accountability, proper financial management. When we took over, we had 52 permanent secretaries. We had 48 commissioners. For goodness sake, even the federal government did not have that number of permanent secretaries. So we had to trim down everything so that at least the cost has reduced drastically. So right now, there's proper accountability. All the leakages of stealing money here and there, we block that. And we're okay. We're doing well. And I'm sure we'll continue to do well and make Zamfara a better society that can compete anywhere or with any state in Nigeria. That is the way forward. That is our rescue mission.
All right, Governor Lawal, let's go back to October 2023 when unidentified assailants stormed a mining community and kidnapped up to 50 local nationals in Bagega. What is the administration doing to check the repeat of that incident? What measures are on ground to protect the safety and well-being of the people?
Mining in Zamfara State, especially illegal mining and artisanal mining, there was no proper communication to the people in terms of what kind of tools should be used in doing these mining activities. And I remember there was a ban since 2018 by the federal government in terms of mining because of the correlation between mining and insecurity. And when I came on board also, I had to issue an executive order banning consent letters by our traditional rulers to people that are mining in Zamfara. What we're trying to do now is to make it formal. Look, Zamfara is blessed. In this country, Zamfara State has the highest mineral deposit. Name it gold, lithium, copper. It's there. But what is the advantage of all this to a common man in Zamfara State? The answer is nothing. Now, what we're doing now is to formalize this sector where the state government will be able to get something and also improve our internally generated revenue so that we can come back and work for the people. And that is what we're doing. That is why now we are on collaboration with the federal government in terms of what should be the process of even issuing this licensing, what would be the benefit for the state, and what will go for the federal government. That is the way. And that's the reason why now we're building the airport, because no investor will travel from Abuja or anywhere for 7 hours with the rate of insecurity to Zamfara to go and invest his money. But by the time we finish this airport, and I'm sure it will open Zamfara State so that people can fly in quickly and do what they have to do. Remember, this airport issue, 5 years ago, the initial cost of that airport was 11.3 billion. And guess what? 7.6 billion was taken. By the time we quantify the whole thing, they did not do up to 10% of their money. The money was stolen. We complained to EFCC, and we're still waiting for EFCC to get that money from the previous government.
Your Excellency, still about mining. You signed an executive order banning all forms of mining activities in the state. Is that correct?
There was a ban by federal government since 2018. What I did was to sign an executive order banning consent letter. Because what normally happened, the traditional institutions, they used to issue consent letters to minors. And there's no proper record of this. And that's why I had to issue that executive order. So no traditional ruler, under whatever condition, should issue consent letter. Look, as a chief executive chief executive officer of the state, I need to know who comes into Zamfara. What are they doing? Those are some of the security lapses. You don't have control over who comes into your state. Somebody will just issue a letter from here and then go to Zamfara and you just see somebody doing mining. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
That is, that's why a lot of persons have asked if banning would ever help, because it's exactly a year since the Minister of Solid Minerals Development.
We are enforcing that. In fact, we have a task force that is responsible for that. Until we're
it's been Governor Lawal, it's been a year since Dele Alake gave miners engaged in the illegal extraction of mineral resources in the country, gave them an ultimatum of 30 days to join notable mining cooperatives or face the full wrath of the law. So, as a state governor, you talked about records. Is there a comprehensive list of legal miners? Is there a comprehensive list of legal miners in the state? Do you think a comprehensive data would help reduce the activities of illegal miners in the state?
As we speak, Jumoke, there is no comprehensive data as far as mining is concerned, not just in Zamfara, in almost all the states in the country. And this is one of the reasons why we had to sit down with the Honorable Minister to understand and put modalities in place where there will be accountability. And that process is ongoing. We are ready to collaborate with federal government. Yeah, mining is an exclusive list. But like I said, the land belongs to Zamfara State. So it can continue to give license. If there is no synergy between the two, we will frustrate every effort. So rather than doing that, let's have a workable solution where the federal government and the state government will come together, collaborate, understand what are the process and what will be my take home from any of these companies. So that I know the ratio or the sharing formula could be 60-40, could be 50-50, as the case may be. We are ready. And I'm happy discussion is ongoing between the state and the Honorable Minister as to fine-tune the whole process so that everybody will be happy. And by the time we do that, I'm sure the data will be accurate. There'll be more money coming to states, and that will translate into development.
Sadly, your state is at the bottom of all indices of development. But taking another look at your commitment to system strengthening reforms, I remember you say Zamfara State will be a reference point for new ideas, determination, accountability, and endless opportunities. How have you been able to create jobs and do something about education in this kind of situation?
Let me tell you this also. When we took over, we had multiple ministries. And what we did was to streamline all these ministries from 50-something to just about 16 ministries. That was the first step. Secondly, when we took over, there was no synergy between the nominal role and the payroll. And therefore, we had to do job audits as well as other things to make sure we have the accurate number of our workforce. And that has significantly reduced all the ghost workers, and the process is still ongoing until we make sure who is supposed to be an employee of Zamfara State Government. And by the time we do that, I'm sure that will also give us a leverage to be able to understand our financial commitment, and we can now move from the 30,000 minimum wage to whatever is agreed for the current minimum wage, so that we know we're paying our people. And those are the kind of reforms we put in place. When I took over, we had more than 1,000 special assistants by the previous administration. But I will speak, we don't have up to 20 special assistants or advisors. So, all these things are just wastages and leakages. It's high time we should take governance very, very serious. The essence of democracy is about development, and that is the way forward. These are the kind of reforms.
You just launched an 11.7 billion naira project to improve access to education for adolescent girls in the state. That's huge.
That was just last week, and I'm going to do more next week.
So what necessitated this move? And do you have any interventionist measures?
As a state, Zamfara State, we are at disadvantage, especially female education. And we realized that something needs to be done as quickly as possible. And it's one of the reasons why just last week we issued contract that informed building of schools, enrollment of girl child education, so that at least we can bring the ladies also, so that when you train a lady, I mean, you're training a entire society. And it's something that we have seriously advantage. And we're just trying to do a catch-up right now. That is why we're doing this. And like I said, the 11.something billion of last week, more are coming next week. And guess what? All these funds are available. We're managing our resources very, very well. We have an efficient system so far in Zamfara State, and there's accountability. And we're open to anybody to come and check what we do. That is the way forward. That is governance.
Let's talk about farming, which is the major occupation and source of food in the north. How critical is the impact of this on the populace and food security?
Prior to all this insecurity in Zamfara State used to feed more than 40% of Nigeria. The beans that I used to consume in the southwest came from Karana Moda, and that was then. So purely, Zamfara State is an agrarian economy. What we're trying to do now is to move from subsistence farming into a capital-intensive farming mechanized system. And I'm happy to say that this year, the insecurity has gone down drastically, so a lot of people are able to farm in their farmland. And I'm sure by the time we harvest, there will be more food around, not just for consumption, but as well as for commercial quantity. And that is the way forward. By the time we're able to tackle the insecurity, believe me, food security is the way forward. If you can feed yourself, I don't think there will be any issue, because all this wrangling that you hear is because people are hungry, and a hungry man is an angry man. So we must make conscious effort to make sure we use our comparative advantage, which is agriculture, as a state, to boost agricultural production so that there will be self-reliant. Our people will not just eat, but also use it for commercial purposes. And that is what we're doing in terms of agriculture. We distributed farm implements during the dry season. At the same time, we distributed fertilizer, seedlings, insecticides, new machines, that the yield will be much, much higher than the way it used to be. And all these are free, and these are assistance to local people in order to boost agricultural production in Zamfara State.
I want you to talk to us about your effort on economic revitalization and rural infrastructure. This is important because in January, you talked about plans to construct 7 kilometers of feeder road and build new markets, which will comprise 4,000 shops. Have this been actualized?
Absolutely. Everything we said is a promise, is commitment, and we make sure we deliver on our promises. We don't make empty promises. Everything that I told you that time we are doing is already in place. In fact, the feeder roads is across all the 40 local governments. While in the city, because we have a serious deficit in terms of infrastructure, and we're constructing almost all the roads in Gusau town, so that at least we look like a city, a capital city, not the village that we used to look like. That is the way forward.
Your Excellency, in talking about health, what are those policies you've put in place to modernize hospitals and primary health centers across the council areas of the state?
Because of the challenges in the health sector, on the 20th of November 2023, I declared state of emergency in the health sector. And what we're doing right now, we have done 5 hospitals that were upgraded from primary health care to secondary health care. And these hospitals are fully equipped with modern technology. We've done one in Bukum local government in Nasarawa. We've done one in Maradin, where my predecessor came from. We have done one in Maru. In fact, it was just launched, I think, about 10 days ago. Your correspondents were there. They covered it live. We've done in Karandamoda. We've done in Safi. We are now upgrading Yarima Bakura Special Hospital into a teaching hospital. And we are bringing entirely new equipment in the hospital. So in the next 1 week, we're upgrading all the primary healthcare facilities. In fact, we have identified more than 700 primary healthcare facilities that will be fully equipped and fully upgraded. And like I said also, we have this money. So we're not just saying it, and we're not going to look for money elsewhere. The money are there. We had enough saving to take care of all these projects.
Governor Lawal, talking about money, many describe you as an accessible governor, and that has made governance easy in Zamfara State. So how are you ensuring regular salary payments, which is a major problem in some states?
From the very day we took over on the 29th of May 2023, it has been a policy. In fact, on the 25th of every month, we pay everybody, both at local government and the states. Go and check the records. We don't wait for FAC allocation before we pay salaries. So as far as salary is concerned, it's regular, and the people are happy. All their entitlements are paid. The same thing with the judiciary. When we took over, in fact, there was a backlog of 1.6 billion for the judiciary. We were able to clear that. We don't have any outstanding. So things are working. And like I said, this is proper accounting, financial management. And that is what is bringing me closer to my people. So anytime you see me in Zamfara or Gusau, it's like every day is politics.
All right. We can only wish you the very best from here. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I've been speaking with Governor Dauda Lawal, the Executive Governor of Zamfara State. Thank you so much for speaking with us tonight. And I look forward to more conversations
I'll also
with you.
invite you to come to Zamfara and see for yourself all the things that we're doing. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much.
I truly appreciate it.
All right. And thank you for watching, everyone. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But you can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode at midnight. Get in touch with us on our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and X at TVC News NG and at Olajumo KWO using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumo Olatunji. I'll see you tomorrow.